Well, let's bring your attention back to that beautiful garden. And as you bring your attention and your focus, I want you to take a look around in this garden and tell me what it looks like to you. What do you see?
I just love it here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It doesn't just look pretty, it smells good. I can smell the sweetness of the flowers, and there's like fruit, and I can smell grass, and everything's big. It's not like a regular garden that you would see. It's almost like if I were to shrink down, but I'm not shrunken. I'm regular size, but everything's huge. The grass is tall. The flowers are huge, like huge. The butterflies are huge. Everything's like bigger and brighter and colorful. And it's just amazing here. It's like the Garden of Eden.
Mm. And tell me, what do you look like here? Do you look like Santa or do you look different?
I look similar, but I'm more transparent. It's not like solid. Like if I was to look outside of me and look at me, I can see through me. I can see things behind me. So it's just a little bit transparent.
Mm.
And I feel lighter.
And so, do you feel about the same age that you are now? Do you feel older, younger?
I feel younger just because I feel lighter. Like it just feels clean and clear and light. I want to say I feel like I have wings. Like I just feel lighter. Like I could just move like the butterflies move.
Beautiful. And so, tell me more about this space where you are. You said everything is bigger, everything smells cleaner. What else do you notice as you look around?
It's just pure. Everything's pure. Nothing's damaged. It's as if, it's as if this is how it was in the beginning. This is how it was before, before everything became clogged up and polluted. This is the beginning. This is the original. This is how it's meant to be. This is how it's this is how it's going to be again. This is how it can be. It's I feel more connected to everything. Like I hear the grass, I feel the grass. I hear the trees, I feel the trees. We're all one, we're all connected. There's no separation. When I look at us, we're all different. So we're different, but we all work together. We're connected. My heart's their heart's my heart. I'm one with nature.
Tell me more about that. What does that feel like to be one with nature?
Well, when you're one with nature, you're not separate. So it's not like looking at it and saying, that's nature. You're saying, this is us. We all flow together. So you would never harm nature, because if you harm nature, you're harming yourself. So you care for nature like you would care for yourself. And I'm feeling it's the same. So nature would never harm us because nature knows we're a part of them. So it's like we're caretakers of nature, and nature is caretakers of us. So we all work together. That's how it's meant to be. We're meant to not be separate. Separateness is not something that real. Separateness is something that is taught. Nature and natural is one. We're all one.
If you get a sense of how it is that we get to this more connected place with nature, how do we get there?
You just let go. You drop everything else. there's a core to us that is all one, that is part of source, that is there's like this core, and the core is all knowing. The core is part of nature, the core is part of source. So it's like shedding and letting go of all the outside, the outer, because the outer is just the collection of what we've gathered along the way, but it's not us. We are the core. And so once you let go and drop all the things that is attached and it's gathered, once you let go of that and release that and put that intention to like just let it all go. And then you put the intention into connecting to source, connecting to the core, then you become one with it all. You see, that's like the planet. So the planet has its core, and the core of the planet is connected to source. It's connected to everything. And it has, its attachments. It has the people, it has the plants, it has the animals, but really all that matters is the core. The core is the source.
And so, what happens when we work with the core of Gaia? We connect our energy. How does that help us?
It's the answer for everything. So, we worry about our health, we worry about things on the outside, and when we do that, we're disconnecting from source. So focus on the core, connect with your core, and then you're one with the source. And once you're one with the source, then everything else that's no longer needed, that no longer fits, falls away, like drops off, like breaks off, sheds off. The problem is we all focus on the outer stuff. We all focus on what's like it's like wearing a jacket. It's like we're all worrying about the jacket, but we're not the jacket. We're what's under the jacket. So if you're always worrying about the jacket, what jacket am I wearing? What jacket do I have? What color is the jacket? What does the jacket look like? Then you're disconnected from the source. That's the problem. So it doesn't matter if you have a jacket or a sweater or that all doesn't matter. Don't pay attention to all that outer stuff. Don't pay attention. They might say you have this disease, you got this. Don't pay attention to all that. Pay attention to the core, pay attention to source. Stay connected, pay attention to it, and focus on that. And once you do, all your attention's on the source. So then the source is feeding you. And then you let go of anything else that's attached. It just drops off once you let go of it. The focus and the attention to it is what keeps it connected. So letting go of the focus of it is what lets it drop. That's what we all need to do.
So many people find it hard to shift their focus off of their physical realities and all of the challenges that they're moving through. What would you say to someone that is struggling with a difficult and challenging life?
Well, sure, we understand that because you see, that's what we're taught here. We're taught to pay attention to the outer, don't pay attention to the inner. Don't listen to yourself, listen to everything outside. That's what we're taught here. So it makes sense that they struggle with that. So the ones that are more, how should we say, the ones that are more influenced by the outer are going to struggle more. There's those that are stubborn and they don't want to listen to the outer. Those are the ones that usually are more connected to source. So we just say, don't be so hard on yourself if you struggle, because being hard on yourself will keep you disconnected from the core. Just be gentle on yourself and say, I'm struggling with this, and I understand I'm struggling, but that's okay. And just focus back on the source, focus back on the core, and say, okay, struggling a little bit today, having a little bit of tough time with that outer stuff today. It's being a little bit loud today. That's okay. I'm just going to just refocus back on the source. So just put that intention back into what you're wanting. The intention is what matters. Just focus on the intention. It's like when you're on a diet and you're like, oh, I had French fries today. Never mind. That's the diet. It's gone. No, it's not gone. It's just temporarily got hijacked by the other stuff. So you just got to say, okay, made a mistake, ate the wrong stuff for the moment, get right back, drink some water, clear it all out. Just focus on what you're wanting. Stay focused on what you're wanting. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to distract you on purpose. Just know that. Know that there's other things on the outside that purposely try to get you off track. That's their goal, is to get you off track. It's okay. They can do whatever they want to do, but as long as you stay focused on what you're wanting, you'll always get back on track.
So it feels like at this time we have a lot of distractions happening in our reality that are trying to take our focus off of connecting with the core. What other advice do you have for those who are watching all of these things play out? Can you share to bring them back to center, back to balance?
We know it's hard to focus on what you're wanting when there's a bunch going on that you don't want. But again, that's just a distraction to take you off track. So we say, when you feel yourself getting off track, bring back into focus what you are wanting. If you are wanting a world with distractions, then go ahead and focus on those distractions. But if you're wanting a world with peace, then see that. And if you're having trouble seeing that because there's so much going on around you, then find that. It could be a story in a book. It could be use your visualization, use your imagination as your tool. Use that to see what you are wanting. This one, Santa, she has dreams where she sees a different reality. So when she has moments and times where she's in reality and she's seeing things she doesn't want, she remembers those dreams and she says, oh yeah, there's those dreams. And then she focuses and she makes the whole reality the dream, and it shifts how she feels. So everybody's different. Everybody can use a different tool. It can be a dream. It can be a movie you saw. It can be a book you read. It can just be a knowingness. But make that visual be the reality. Because you see, there's not much difference between imagination and reality. I know that's hard for some to hear, but imagination and reality are the same. The body doesn't know any difference. So create the world you are wanting. Don't see what is, live what you are wanting as if it already is. If you're wanting clean and clear water and you're saying, but there's water, our water is poisoned, then you're bringing in poison to the water. So if you're wanting clear water and you have water in your hand, you say, I love you, water. You are clear and clean, and this is healthy for my body. And now you're preparing that water for the body. It's the same way with the environment. It's the same way with food. Everything works with the core as long as the intention is what you are wanting. Focus your intention on what you are wanting and bring in what you are wanting. And again, let go of what is and keep your focus on what you are wanting.
It feels like we have been doing everything backwards. It's almost like we've been taught to do everything in reverse of how we should be doing it. Can you share about that?
Yes, because the backwards way is the illusion. It's like when you look into a mirror, you're not seeing yourself, you're seeing the backwards you. So this world has been created to see things backwards because if you see things backwards, you're not powerful. But the core knows, the core knows the right way. The core knows that upside down is upside down and right side is right side. So if you stay within the core, you don't get off track. You don't get discombobulated. So don't allow the outsideness to tell you where you're at. Don't let those that are controlling the picture to give you the picture that you are seeing, see their picture and tell yourself, no, thank you. My core knows the right way. I'm going to follow my inner core. My core is the compass. And practice that verbiage because when you practice that verbiage, you're connecting to source and you're connecting to your guides, and your guides will say, okay, this one is following the compass. So we will turn up the compass for this one. It's all about intentions.
Talk a little bit more about the power of intentions and setting your intentions, because I think this is so important. Everything is based on intention, what you intend. Expand on that for us.
So just like we said, the compass. So your intentions is your compass. So your intention is basically your guide to where you go. Your compass, your intention is your, let's say, your track. Um, if you intend to have a clean bill of health, then you put the intention out there. I have a clean bill of health. If you have an intention of, well, I want to have a clean bill of health, but my family member has this sickness and this sickness runs in our family, then you are no longer in the intention of a clean bill of health. Now you're on the intention of illness. So you can see just with those thoughts, just with those words, just with those intentions, it shifts your entire life. It shifts your entire journey. Your intention can shift your whole game plan. And that's okay because you have free will. So you go where your intention sets you. You can go anywhere. You can go down the road of homelessness. You can go down the road of wealth and abundance. It's all up to you. It's all about your intention. And with intention, we'll say there's also a tool called certainty and doubts. So the tool is certainty. The we'll say the reverse of that is doubt. So this world, well, we'll say not this world, but those that are putting in the false plan, they give you the feeling that you're on track when they're really taking you off track. So we say if you stay close to your core, stay strong with your intentions of what you are wanting, and we're going to repeat this, what you are wanting, not what your fears are saying, not what your concerns are, because your fears and your concerns is not your core. And as we say this, we can already feel some people questioning that because they're saying, well, I need to have some sort of fear because that protects me. But we're saying that's false. Fear does not protect you. Yes, we can understand that if you have a fear, then you might be on guard. And yes, maybe being on guard could protect you from something. But you see, all of that, it drops the frequency. So when you're connected to core, you're already protected. You already have everything you need. When you're connected to source and you're connected to your higher self, you have everything you need. There's no need to feel, what if this happens or what if that could happen? Because when you're set with core, when you're on track, when you've got your intentions aligned, there's no need for fear. There's no need for protection because everything's already aligned. You've got everything you're already needing. So we're just saying that your intention is like your roadmap. And you can set your map for treasures, or you can set your map to find out where the booby traps are. If you want to live your whole life looking for where the traps could be, it's going to be unpleasant. It's going to be filled with unsureness, anxiety, fear, and health issues. If you set your map to the treasures, you're going to find abundance. You're going to find health. You're going to find magic. Everything's going to line up for you just right. So align your intentions to the treasure map.
So, as Santa and I were talking before the session, we feel like Starseeds Lightworkers have been going through a lot of healing this past year, releasing the baggage. And sometimes I feel like you can have the best of intentions, not wanting to experience that, but still have to go through that. So when you feel like you're having to do that inner work and it's challenging, how do you stay focused on knowing that there's better things to come? How do you move through that energy when it feels out of your control?
Sure. So what you are speaking of is more of the shedding. It's not per se that you are focusing on bad things. So that's why you're experiencing and feeling bad things. It's just you've been on this planet, right? So accumulated. You've accumulated. And so right now you're letting go. You're shedding that which has been accumulated. And I know a lot of you had said, I've already shedded a lot and I've already let go. So why is there more shedding? Because there's layers. And because you see, there was a time that you went through a healing and you let go of things and you shedded it and you said, okay, I'm let go and I'm done with that. And you were, but we're all evolving. We're all growing. And now at the space that you've evolved to, now there's a little bit more residual that has come up. So it's not like you're reliving it all over again. It's just that there's these little pieces that are still there. And so it might feel like to you, you're like, this doesn't feel like a little piece. This feels huge, but it only feels huge because right now you've evolved into a place that's more sensitive. So back then, you weren't able to even feel what you're feeling now because now the sensitivity is feeling the little bits, the little bits. So we're still moving the little bits off because you're going to be filled with light. And when you're filled with light, there's no room for this to be there. So we're getting it all out now. We're moving it all out now, and just be patient with yourself. It's everything's okay. You're okay. I know we see we see a lot of you get challenged when anything comes up. It's like as soon as it comes up, you're like, I don't want to be feeling this. I don't want this, but be gentle. Be gentle on yourself. It's like if you were out in the garden and you saw maybe a leaf on a plant, the plant's all healthy, but it has a little bit of a bad leaf. You wouldn't say to the plant, oh my gosh, this plant is ruined. It has a bad leaf. It's ruined. You wouldn't want to put that heaviness on the plant or make the plant feel like it's ruined. You'd say, oh, got a bad leaf right here. Let me pluck this little bad leaf on there so we can get that off and you can feel good and healthy again. And then you pluck that bad leaf off and then the plant, it starts to get all its energy back in the rest of the leaves and the stems and everything's flowing and feels good again. So it's kind of like that. So you're going through a time of shedding, you're going through a time of letting and releasing go of the things that are no longer for your highest and best. And so, if anything, be thankful. You say, wow, this thing just came up. Thank you. Thanks. I get to release it today. I get to work on this week. It's like it's like your higher self is saying, oh, we found another thing. We found this. And you say, oh, thank you. And then you get to work on it, whatever it is. So look at it like a gift, not like, great, here we go. Here's another thing. Got another layer. Here we go. Because you see, as I'm saying that, do you see my frequency? Do you feel it? That's not what you want to be sending to the body. Oh, great. Here we go. No, it's like, oh, okay. Got it. Thank you. Let me work on this so I can clear this out. Because what's your intention? You want to be part of light, right? You want to get to that. What's that place you guys call 5D? You want to get to that, right? So you can't be into 5D with the heaviness. So it's funny to us because you say, I want to be there. And we're like, okay, to be there, you got to get rid of this. And you're like, oh, I don't want to feel this. So to us, that's funny because to be there, you got to get rid of this, but you don't want to feel there. You don't want to feel this and get rid of it to be there. So just know to be there, you have to get rid of this. And to get rid of this, you have to feel it. And then when you feel it, then you know what needs to be worked on. And so then you say, okay, I got this thing. Now I can work on this. And you can be stubborn and you can fight working on it. That's okay. You're just going to have the stuff be there a little bit longer. So it's going to take you longer to get to the place you're wanting to get to. So we're just saying, be patient. There's that word that we know you struggle with as well. So patience is one of those things. That's one of those things that you have to say, okay, so it's patience. That's my thing right now. Okay. Don't be frustrated with the patience because then you're going to have more hard time being patient. So just let go and say, okay, it's the patient thing. So got to be more patient. Got to slow down. Got to look and observe, see what's coming up. What am I bumping up against? What's causing my impatience? Okay, work on that. And then you let it go. So see what you're bumping up against, work on the thing, and then let it go. And it might come up back up again. That's just because there's a little more to work on it. But now's the time to release your stuff. Now's the time.
Excellent advice. Thank you. And so, what about those who are have yet to really do their inner work? Are we Santa and I talked about having time to go through these layers that we've been working on. Is it going to be more intense for those who haven't quite come into this knowing yet? Are we going to see that? What do you see?
Yes, 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 yes. But, free will. So they've had their time, they've had their opportunities. We've all had our times and opportunities. Some came in already knowing. So that's only because they did a lot of work in the previous lifetime. But those that are not quite awake have chosen to come through this time because it's really going to rock their world. So they need that. We all need to evolve. We all need to grow. Um, some can go with the flow and grow that way. Some have to be tossed around a bit. It's just the way of the soul. So the soul goes through its own growing period. And when the soul fragments to come down to be a human, that human can either accelerate through the path or stagnate through the path. And it's all okay. It's just going to be a tougher time on the human, but not for the soul, because the soul gets the benefit of the final outcome, which is the growth. And so it could be an easy growth or it could be a difficult growth, but the growth is needed. So you see, that's why we have those that are here. There's different layers and different levels, and that's why we have that, because there's those of us that can help from the outside on that different realm, but we can only do so much, especially for those that are disconnected because they can't hear us. They don't even really feel us. So we work through you. We work through those that are awake. And so I'm sure a lot of you have been recognizing the acceleration that's been going on recently because we've been turning up that dial. We're turning up the dial because there's those that are just starting to awaken, and we're like, we need you to awaken a little bit more. And there's those that have been awake, and we need you to be fully awake. So we're turning up the dial, and it's bringing more to the surface for some, and it's being a little bit more challenging for some, but we know that you guys can handle it. We know you guys have the tools. So for those that are still asleep, those are the ones that are going to get knocked around, tossed around a little bit. The ones that are already awake are feeling all the angst, all the stuff coming to the surface from the turn of the dial. But you have the tools. You already have the tools. We've given you the tools. Along the way, you've gotten the tools. So it's just for you to dust off the tools, use the tools, get those tools working, charge up the batteries for the tools. So you can step into the place that you've meant to be here to help those that are asleep, because they're going to need your help. They're going to need your help.
When you say you're turning up the dial, bringing things to the surface, how does that work? How does that happen?
It's frequency. It's frequency. Everything's frequency. So we're helping by turning up the frequency in different ways. We've been working with that sun. We've been working with the sun. We're bringing in more frequencies. You guys have been waiting. The wave's coming in. This is the wave. This is the wave. So this year, you guys have been feeling a lot. And you've been saying, why are we feeling so much? Why is this year so heavy? We've turned up the dial. It's the light. It's the frequencies from that sun. Remember, you've all known this is coming. We've been telling you, and you've been all saying, you've been wanting it to come. When is it coming? When's it coming? It's here. It's coming. This is it. It's been coming. You see, because you've all been waiting, like, it's almost like you sit there and you're like, okay, when's it coming? You look at your watches. When's it coming? And then you're sitting there. When's it coming? And you're waiting for it to come. Like you've been programmed. You see, because the dark ones, they show you things. They're like, here it is. You see it? And so you're looking for that kind of a thing. You're looking for, here it is. There it is. I see it. But that's not how it works. It's a subtlety. It's strong, but we call it a subtlety because you've been bombarded with the dark things, which comes across differently. And the bombardment has jammed your own compass, your own core, your own knowingness. So the jamming has kind of numbed or dulled down, which is because if it wasn't numbed or dulled, you would say, "Oh, here's the wave. Here it comes. I'm seeing it. I feel it. It's here." So we're just letting you know that it's already here. It's been coming. We've been also trying not to allow it to be too intense. So we let it go in bursts. There's these bursts. You call them flares, solar flares. But these are bursts of energy that we allow to come out of the sun, out of the sun portal. So it comes out and it shoots out. And even there's those that they say is not earth facing. It's like when you throw a rock into a pond and it ripples out. It ripples out. So it might not be earth facing, but you're still feeling it. And then those that are earth facing, those are the ones that are more intense. And then when you pay attention to that earth frequency, the Schumann resonance, it'll give you a little bit of a peek into what's the frequencies are doing, but that's just a small peek. It's not really a full accusation of what actually is happening, but it gives you a piece of the puzzle. So when you see big bursts, know it's going to have an impact on the body. Your body is electrical. The body's an electrical system. So when we send out those frequencies, when we're allowing those frequencies to come out, the body's feeling that. And so the the energetic system is cracking, cracking open those the shells, the things that keep people asleep, things that keep people dimmed down. It's crackling them open. It's letting the light shine through. When the light shines through, it brings the stuff to the surface for you to work on. So everything's happening like it's supposed to. The wave is going, the wave is happening. It's moving through. It's moving through everything. It's moving through. If you notice, you can notice the animals are feeling it first, the plants are feeling it first. This year was different for a lot of the animals and a lot of the plants on your planet. So there's some of you that are aware of the gardening. The gardening has changed. There's been a stunt in the growth, and some of you have been like, oh no, what's happening to our plants? That's just, there's a shift. There's a huge shift happening right now with the planet. Basically, what's happening is you're going from dark to light. So the the best way to say it is that dark has been inhabiting the planet and the dark is going to be leaving the planet, but there's a transition. It's not like you go from dark to light, like dark and then light. There's a transition that happens. So with the transition, it affects everything. It affects the planet, affects the animals, affects the plants, affects the people. And right now, we're just experiencing the transition.
So, as we move in to the end of this year, many have been feeling like something big is about to happen. Is there anything from your perspective you can share? Anything we can look for or expect to experience?
Yes, so it's going to be pretty profound. We want to give you words that you're looking for, but we can't give you the words that you're looking for because there's no words for this. It's something, it's something that your humankind has not experienced. So the best way to say it is that the upside down is going to be turning right side up. And as we just said that, we feel people thinking, are you saying our planet's going to flip? No, we are not saying that. We're just saying what has been wrong is going to be made right. And it's been a slow shift, but it's all coming to a head. It's all coming to this point. You see, things can't go on and on and on and on and on and on forever. They have to shift. So now's the point where it shifts, and there's the time of change and the winds of change. And that's what's happening right now. You guys are all feeling, the ones that are awake are all feeling it. You've been feeling it, but now you're feeling it more because it's coming to that head. And we can just say that things that you have known to be are not what they are. You've been falsely programmed to see and to feel things a certain way so that it works for them. So, with the frequency shifting, it's cleaning out, clearing out. And then with this current situation of things being brought to light, it's going to help waken those that are on that teetering. And it's going to help. You see, because the more people that are awake, which you all know this, the more people that are awake, it shifts the planet. The planet's going to shift regardless, but we're needing more of it to work, to help. So we're waking up more people, we're bringing more of the energy, things, activities, situations are happening at the end of this time frame to crack open, to break open the final stage for the light to come in. And we're having to remove some of the people that are causing the issues, but they have to be shown first. So we're going to be showing, things are going to be shown. How do we say this? That which has been hidden is going to be brought to light. And that is going to awaken those that have been asleep. And there's going to be some that are going to want to deny it and not believe it because it's going to be too much. But that's okay. That's okay. It's going to awaken those that need to be awakened. And those that are already awake, it's just going to bring that certainty that they're needing to help them be stronger to help others. There's going to be shifts in the government. It's a planetary. It's not just in certain areas. It's the entire planet that's going to be shifting. The entire planet.
And so we're seeing our entertainment industry sort of be brought in to the light. Obviously, this is one of the big shifts. Anything that you can share about that, what we're seeing happening?
We find it interesting how they call this entertainment. You see, because this entertainment is dark. So it's interesting that the word entertainment is connected to this dark thing because we feel entertainment should be of light. So this entertainment industry that they created was not of light. They took, you see, because singing and performing is core, right? That's core energy. But they took that core energy and they shifted it, they controlled it. So that which what they call entertainment can be part of the brainwashing. It could be part of the downfall, we'll say. And like we were saying earlier, you can't have something that's not in flow of source to keep on going and going and going. There's a time that has to end. And this was allowed to go on too long. We say it's been overdue. And this entertainment industry has harbored darkness. And now that it's time for the light to come, we need to have the breakdown of the entertainment. That whole system needs to come down. And for it to come down, you have to bring it to light. You have to show the people really what they have been looking at, really what they have been seeing, really what they have been listening to. It's not what they thought. It's not what they've been thinking. You see, you can take something poisonous and cover it in sugar and give it, and someone say, wow, this tastes delicious. And then the next day they're sick. So just because it tastes good, just because it has pretty colors, just because these people are held in a high place, wow, look at their clothes. Wow, look at how they live. Wow. Just because it looks like that doesn't mean that it's pure. If you see most of these people that you put in a high place, if you were to actually be in their in their being, you would realize how miserable they are. Miserable they are. You see, when they put on a show, they're putting on a show. That's not what they feel. It's what they thought they wanted because the false program says you want to be famous, you want to be pretty, you want to be rich, you want this, you want that. Don't you want it? Don't you want it? That's the false. So they thought they wanted it. And then when they sold their soul, they said, this isn't what I thought. This wasn't worth the trade. So you see, in order for the shift to happen, it's part of it. Things need to be brought to light. So the people need to see that those that they had worshipped weren't the people they thought they were worshiping. So it's just part of the dark being brought to light. And these souls that have been taken over, they have to be shifted as well. So we have to expose them to do that.
So, what about this election season that we're moving into? This election is playing out, lots of chaos energy surrounding that. Anything you can share with us about what you see, what might play out, what we might experience?
Elections are also part of the false matrix. So elections are elections are part of the entertainment. Do you see the people think they're electing? They're not electing. That's the entertainment. You let the people think they're electing, and they get entertained by the election process. People don't elect. The ones in charge elect. It's all controlled, you see. It's all part of the game. They control the whole game. They've controlled everything. So, um, we want to say that there's multiple ways for this election period to go because it can go forward, but things will still fall apart after. We can see the election not even happening because of things happening prior to the election. But again, you have to look at the election again as it's a false entertainment. So don't put all your focus on the election, just like you wouldn't put all your focus on the MTV Music Awards. It's the same kind of a thing. There's people pulling the strings. It's not like this was the best singer, so they're going to win the award. No, that singer played their part and they did what they were supposed to do, so they get the award. So with the elections, you see there's the parts, there's the players, there's those ones right now that are doing what they're supposed to, saying what they're supposed to, putting on their face, putting on their little acts to make the people feel this way or that way. But don't focus on the election. Just focus on what you're wanting. Focus on what you're, focus on the outcome. Because you see, the elections perpetuate the system that you're all not wanting. So there's those people that are behind the scenes, they're doing the job. And that's what really that matters. So there's players on the outside doing their part, showing their parts. And that's just to help, let's say, it's to help the game. But all that really matters is the key players, the people behind the scenes. The election is, again, just a false tool to get people their frequency this way or get their frequency that way. It's all part of the game. So we just say, don't pay attention to that. We know it's it's a big part that you guys are seeing it as a big part. But as long as you see it as a big part, then it controls and it has too much frequency control. So just say, I know what side I'm on. I know what team I'm on. And that's all that matters.
Wonderful. And so, because it is a big part of our reality and has been for some time, do you recommend that people go out and vote, but maybe put their intention to what they want to create? Or do you recommend they just pull their energy away from it altogether?
We don't say pull your energy out of it all the way together because by saying that it affects some. So like we were saying, it's all about frequency. If you go out and vote and it makes you feel good, we say vote. If going to vote makes you feel uncomfortable, don't go out and vote. We want you right now to focus your intentions on what you're wanting. And what you're wanting is what feels good, what feels right. And we'll even say this. There's those that are confused and not know what they're wanting. That's okay. Just go with what you're wanting. Because when you, let's say this, let's say there's team A and team B, and we'll call it team A good and team B bad. Let's say you feel good, but you're on team B. Guess what? Because you feel good, you're on team A. I know that's hard for some to understand, but when you are feeling good, you're on the right track. Even if you're asleep and you're only understanding the false matrix. So your all your thoughts are false matrix, but you don't know your false matrix. All you know is this. All you know is this. But you feel good. You're actually on the other team. You're actually on the good team without even knowing it. Because all that matters is frequency. So we say, regardless of, you know what we want to say right now? This is why we're saying this, because there's those of you that are concerned about friends and family members that are on the wrong side. You say, I don't want them to be on that side. I want them to understand that that side's not good. We say, don't focus your attention on what they are at or where they're not at or where they're confused at. You just stay focused on what's right and what you know. And when they think good thoughts, they automatically are on your side. That's how this works. It's all about frequency, it's all about intention. The dark side is moving out. The dark systems, entertainment, food, the bad, the poisons, the anything that you say is not on this good timeline is being removed. So just know that. Don't worry about it. Don't be concerned about it. Just know where it's at. Just know where you're what you're wanting, where it's going, and just stay with that because all those systems are falling apart. All those systems are breaking. And that's why you're seeing the chaos right now. That's why you're seeing things so disrupted because they're breaking. Things can't be solid and then just be gone. They have to break apart. So this governmental system is falling apart all over the planet, not just where you're located, but all over the planet. Systems are breaking down. Even if you're not hearing about it, they're breaking down. So just know that every system that you have known is being changed, it's being shifted. Everything has to shift. Even that which you call as good is shifting because everything has its place. And so it's like an explosion. It's like it's exploding. And then there has to be a settling down of everything. So right now we're in that explosion. That's why it's feeling so unsettled. It's like an eruption.
The Santa said she's been hearing from her guides that this is the year, this is the year, this is the year. Why is she hearing that? What does she need to know about that?
Yes, because this is the year. This is the year it's all happening. So it's been happening. Like we said, it's been happening. It's a process. It's like a process. It's a process. But that wave you were all speaking of, this is the year that's happening. So the sun has gone into the next level of stepping up. And this was the year that we allowed the turning up of the dial for the frequencies to shift, for that wave to come on through. And so it wasn't like January 1st, boom, it was all going to happen. As a wave comes through, it's a wave. It's a wave. And so it's all in the outer perimeters. And then so as the wave comes through, that's what everybody's been feeling in their bodies. A lot of people have been saying, what's going on this year? Why am I feeling so much stuff? Why am I feeling so much stuff? Because this is the year. So we're not saying there hasn't ever been years where you felt stuff because you have. And some years might have been worse for you, but we're just saying this is the clear out year. This is the year of clearing it all out. And so next year will be not really clearing it out, but it'll be the settling in, the beginning of the settling in, let's say, because settling in takes years as well. But this is the year of the breaking down, the breaking apart, the collapse.
Talk to us a little bit more about 2025. You said a little more settling in. What do you see unfolding next year?
Well, there's still going to be more of the disarray in that beginning of the year, but it's the we can say it's the beginning of okay, so cleared it all out, got it all out. Now we got to get used to the newness. And with the newness, you don't always see, how do we say this? It's like the dust has to settle. So it might look a bit dusty at first for a while because things are all unsettled. So we want people to just prepare for the time of recalibration, of settling into the new. And sometimes when you're settling into the new, you're wanting to know, why is it not good right this moment? Like, it's over, so why isn't everything not good right now? But it has to settle in, it has to clear out, it has to find, everything has to find its place. Where's its new place? Everybody knows their spot, everybody knows their place, but they haven't done it yet. So there's that, okay, now I got to do this. It's not like it used to be, it's not like it was. So now I got to do this. So how am I doing this? How does it go? So everybody's got to learn it all over again. And people are going to step into place. People are going to step up. Um, you're already sensing a shift that's going on with there's going to be a new surge of, so there was a time when we had to remove a lot of the animals, or some animals had to be removed. And there's going to be an introducing of new animals coming in, a replenishing. But again, that's a stage. There's stages to that. So there's those that were extinct. They're going to start to be coming back, but different, a little bit different. There's going to be there's just going to be some changes, and so in 2025 has to be the time for the inner. It's like the time in between before the new freshness begins. There's got to be a little bit of the in between time, and that's what 2025 is. That's in between time of done with the old, news come in, but we're still settling in from all the old residual, still kind of murky, I guess is the best way to describe that. You see, because when systems get taken down, it's not like boom, the system. Yes, things are already in place within the timelines, but there has to be an emergence. There has to be a process. And so that's what you guys will be witnessing, is the process.
We talked a little bit about we're sort of living in this upside down reality. We might even call that the false matrix. Sam wants to know more about the Christed matrix. What can you share about that?
So the Christ in matrix is source. It's sources. How do we say this? It's like a map, but it goes deeper than what you would say a map is, because you see map as almost like a just two-dimensional. It's Source has a plan, and with this plan is the matrix. So we call that the Christed matrix, which is an overlay that is in alignment with the nature of Source. Everything is in alignment. Everything works together. It's kind of like that core we were talking about. The Christed matrix is actually all that is. But when the darkness came in, when it went from darkness, from light to dark, when there was that shift, then that false matrix went, there's like an in between stage of where there's the Christed matrix that always is. And then there's the false matrix that stepped in and it created almost like a dimming, like a, it's like if you had a light source and you were to lay a blanket over that light source, the light source is still there, but the blanket covers it. So that false matrix covered the Christed matrix. And when we go from dark to light, we're removing that film, that overlay that stepped in, that was allowed to step in. You see, because there's these times that everything goes through shifts. Shifts is cycles. Cycles are normal. That's all part of Source, these shifts. And so this might be beyond a little bit what some are able to absorb, but we're just saying that there's also a place for darkness. And when that time came in for dark to come in, darkness also has shifting that happens. It's almost like darkness can get lighter. And so we allowed that time for the light to turn to dark. So then there's a little bit of a lightening of that darkness, because each time that cycle comes back, the darkness gets a little bit lighter. And as I'm saying that, I can feel people saying, but this darkness was really dark. We understand that. But we're just saying that each time that cycle happens, the darkness gets a little bit lighter. So we're the next stage is coming in to where the light comes in. It's now time for light, darkness to light. The dark is shifting out. And it's just a stage. It's a natural evolvement that happens. It's a process. And we're just allowing this now time to be the time of light. Now is the time of light to come in. This is the time now to shift, for that next shift, because with that shift, everything evolves. And it is time for that next evolution of the humans. Now is the time for the next evolution of the humans.
So these cycles of dark to light, light to dark that we move through, does that happen for all beings at all dimensional levels? Is that just for the third dimensional level? Is that just for humans, the earth? How does that work?
It's layers. So there's different layers for different dimensions. You see, because this planet here goes through its own different light to dark, even though the dark to light, light to dark cycle is happening not just on this planet, it happens throughout universes. It's like a wave that goes throughout all that is. but it affects each planet differently depending on the stage of where that planet is. Just like as a human, we all go through our different stages of healing. We all go through our different levels of growth. Our souls go through different layers. It's everything's part of all that is. When you go inside your body, there's a universe within that. We know it's really hard to comprehend this, but there's so much vastness. There's so much that it's hard to express all that is in just with the words that we have to express that to you. But just know that the shift that's happening isn't just happening on your planet, it's happening through universes, through dimensions, but it's all different stages for each place. It depends on where each stage, each dimension, each timeline, it depends on where everything's at to what happens.
And so, what role are interdimensional beings playing in our evolution at this time? What role do you guys have?
We're all connected. We're all connected. So you have free will, so we don't overstep that boundary, but we wait for our time. We wait for our moment. There's those moments. There's like these openings. There's these frequency changes that happens in your planet. And so when there's that opening, we step in. We say, okay, we can step in. And that's why we said to you earlier, we were able to turn up that dial because this is an opening for us. And so we're like, okay, we're going to turn up that dial to help speed up this process a bit. And with the speeding up of the process, we know there's more challenges, but we feel you are all ready for this next shift. So we wouldn't do anything that we didn't feel that majority are ready for. So what we are doing is we are turning up that dial, which shifts the frequency, which allows the 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 solar energies to come in and give shift to the planet, which gives shifts to the inhabitants. And when you fill up an area with light, darkness resides. It's like a universal law. So we are bringing in that light to break it up, to help. So yes, we are all helping. We are all here to help you, to help those get to that next place of the evolutionary ladder. Because you see, we all evolve, not just the humans, not just the animals, not just the planets, not just the universes. We all are connected. So as you evolve, we evolve. So this excites us that you are ready for this next step because we, dear ones, we want this more than anything to see this light come through to this planet at this time.
Wonderful. So, more and more are waking up. They are realizing that they have higher self, they have these beautiful higher guides. Can they learn to connect? How can they work with you more? And especially to trust that higher guidance and what they're receiving. Sometimes we don't trust fully when we're receiving that higher guidance. What would you recommend or suggest?
We say practice, practice, because you try it and you say, "Oh, yeah, I'm not hearing anything. No, that's not working. I guess it just doesn't work for me. I guess I'm not able to do that." And we say, "You all are able to do that. You all are able to hear us. You are all able to connect to the core. It's part of you." So what it is, it's a remembering. It's a remembering because you all have it. You all know it, but you don't all remember it. So we say to remember something, you have to waken it back up. You have to give it life again. You have to energize it. And to do that, you practice it. So every day, every day you talk to your higher self. Every day you connect and you can even say, I'm ready today to connect to my higher self. And guarantee you, right when you say that, you will hear something. See, guarantee you will hear something because that first word you hear, that's us. That's your higher self. We're speaking to you. We're speaking to you constantly. And then when you acknowledge us, then we're on the same wavelength. We say, you hear us? And you say, I hear you. And we say, we hear you, hearing us, hearing you, hearing us. And so then we're all on the same wavelength. And then we're all on the same frequency. And then we plug in and you plug into us. And then we plug into you. So the more you practice that, it's getting that, it's like there's a cord. We'll call it a cord. So every time you plug in, the cord gets a braid. And so you're thickening that braid. And so the cord's getting stronger. And then there's that thing that you guys like to play with called doubt. And you doubt, you question, I don't know. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I was making that up. So just know that that's not you. That doubt, that's not you. That doubt was taught to you. That was what was taught. That's part of the false matrix. So when you doubt, just know you're welcoming in the false matrix. So do you want to connect with the false matrix or do you want to connect with the Christed matrix? It's a choice. It's your choice. So when you feel doubt, you say, oh, no, 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 I'm not plugging in with that. Yeah, that was my higher self. I know it. I know it. So connect with certainty. Certainty is your friend. Certainty is somebody that will never fake you out. So this one, Santa, she wears certainty. She'll put on her certainty hat. She'll say, well, I'm feeling a little doubt today, so I'm going to put on my certainty hat. And she puts that on, and everything changes. Her voice changes, her thoughts change. So when her thoughts change, her frequency changes. So then now she's stepping into the treasure map. So don't doubt, stand in certainty. Remember your core. Remember everything you need to know is within you. You just have to learn, we'll say, you just have to relearn to listen to yourself, to listen to the higher self, because that's the one that's tapped into the core. So practice listening. You'll hear the voice. The voice will sound different. The voice will feel different. You can ask a question. Should I go to this event? And just as you say that, there'll be an automatic no. There'll be an automatic yes. And then there'll be a voice that say, well, maybe I shouldn't because it's not a good time. Maybe I shouldn't because I don't think I have the money to do that. So the first was the higher self. It comes in automatically. Boom. The second is the doubt. The second is the overthinking. So learn to listen, learn to hear the different tones. Higher self has no doubt. Higher self doesn't go, I'm not really sure. Higher self goes, yes, go, no, don't, move forward, turn left, go right, stop. That's the higher self. The doubting side says, I don't know. Oh, I once heard this was a bad place. Oh, my family, we never do this. This isn't okay. So learn the different tones, practice, practice, practice. And the more you do that, the more you create that weaving of the braid of the connection to the higher self, to the core, to source.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Now, Santa says she has been feeling, especially over the last month, a lot of anxiety and a lot of nervous energy. Is that hers? Is that the collectives? Is it something else?
So that is the turning up of the dial. But you see, she was overwhelmed with that and said, oh no, what is this? And you see, as she says, oh no, what is this? It goes right into that doubt frequency. And when you go into the doubt frequency, then you question and then you feed the thoughts of, this is anxiety. Oh no, it's anxiety. What's going on? Why am I feeling this anxiety? So we want Santa to know this is not that. This is different. And it feels similar. So we understand. Know that this anxiety that you call anxiety is not the anxiety that you know. This is just the frequency that is dialing up. And so as you feel it, we want you to get in that state of meditation and we want you to connect to source. We want you to ground, feel the grounding, feel the connection to source. And when you're plugged in, then everything flows. Then there's no stagnation. There's no clogging of the frequency, which can be turned into the word anxiety. When you allow it to flow, it moves through you. And when it moves through you, it works with you, not against. It works with you. So what you were experiencing, and then with the thoughts that you were putting with it, made it jammed. And with the jamming becomes anxiety. And then it becomes uncomfortable for it becomes uncomfortable for the body. So, dear one, we want you to allow the flow. Plug in, plug in, connect with source, crown chakra, roots, crown chakra. Open up the heart chakra. Allow the rippling out of the frequencies to ripple out. You see there, you feel that right now. You see that? That rippling out? That's what we're wanting you to practice, Santa, because that rippling out is what is going to be needed for the planet. So, dear one, you see that which you were calling anxiety? You were turning it into that. But this is the tool we are bringing into you right now. This is the tool we are bringing into you for you right now. Plug in with that. Allow it to flow in. Then you plug in to Gaia. Use the roots. And it flows out. It flows out. Balancing out the frequency, balancing out the energy, balancing out the planet. When you feel those surges come through, that is us letting you know to sit in meditation and work with the planet. This is the time to connect with us, and we will bring in those frequencies for you to send out to the core of the planet to open up that core for the frequency energies to resonate from the core out to the universe. This is what we are needing you to do over the next 3 months, dear one.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing those tips. Those will be helpful for many who listen to this. So, along those same lines, she said she's also feeling very impatient. Is that connected to that or something different?
So that is different. So this one has been waiting her whole life for this time. So this one came in already awake. She was already connected to the angelic realm as a little girl, and we showed her. You see, we would come visit her in her room as a little girl, and we would bring her comfort, but it would scare her. So she has been waiting her whole life for her purpose. She has been waiting and preparing her whole life. There's different directions this one could have gone, but we kept her on path. We kept her directly lined up with Source to keep her body, to keep her physical on point for this assignment that she has. And so she has been waiting for this time, even not knowing what she is waiting for, but knowing it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then nothing ever comes. Nothing ever comes. But we're letting her know this is the time. This is the time. So we know that you feel a bit anxious about it, but we just want you to settle in and we want you to shift it and turn it around into excitement, dear one. Yes, it's here. Yes, I'm excited. These are the words we want you to try to practice using. So a little bit of shifting with the words and a little bit of shifting with knowing where we're at right now. It's all going as planned. It's all in alignment. It's all happening now.
Talk to us a little bit about the role of technology in our future. There's a lot going on with AI. Some AI is positive, and some AI can take you down a darker path. What do you see happening with technology?
So the AI that you are all seeing right now is not the technology that we know of, that we would say is the good technology. The AI, the technology that you are all mostly seeing right now is all the agenda technology. So there is technology that works with source. And as we say that, that can cause confusion because it doesn't seem how could technology work with source? But we say, let's give an example. You can get in your car and connect with your car. You can talk to your car. You can say, I appreciate everything that you have done for me. I appreciate all of the system working so grand. All of the system works together. The oils and the fuels and the everything works so well together. And as you're saying that, you're connecting source energy to that technology. And the, the technology of the car feels the source energy. So there is technology that works with source. And there is that technology now on the planet, but most are not seeing that. Most are not aware of that yet because it's not quite in that settle in time for that technology to take place yet. So right now you are only seeing that technology that is controlled by the dark ones. So if we were to say, look at this technology now, the dark technology, we would say, no, this is the technology that has been before that is destroyed. There has been this technology, this dark technology before, and it has destroyed. It has taken over because you see, dark technology becomes ahead of the ones that created it, and it will consume those that had created it. But you see, we won't allow that to stay. So when that dark technology takes over and it annihilates the human race, then that's when there has to be the next shift, the next cycle of the light coming in. So now's the time when that dark technology is reaching a limit or coming to that boundary that we are saying enough's enough. We do not want it to take over again and destroy again. So that's why we are stepping in before that were to happen. So yes, technology will be part of the future, but not like you are seeing it now, not like you are knowing it now. It's completely different. It's more of like a technology that has source frequency within it. So it would never even think or function in a dark technologically way. It only functions of light. It only finds bigger and better solutions of light, meaning the technology is of a physical level that could bring in assistance in a light form that could help life forms that are in the physical, working with the life forms, but not against or harming life forms, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And so when you say that this has happened before, are we talking about the time in Atlantis when the technology
Exactly.
was dark? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm. And so one of Santa's questions, she says, what advice or messages do advanced civilizations have for humanity that maybe like Atlantis that didn't go in quite the right direction?
Well, because you see, things have to go through in a process. And so Atlantis could not have been prevented. That was to go the way it went in order for now to go the way it's going. And some of you say, well, we'd rather have not had now go the way it's going. And we understand that. But everything has a process. And in order for light to come in the way it needs to, there has to be a process to it. And so we had to have those dark times before. We had to have those other lifetimes before to get to another stage. We can call it a better stage, a lighter stage. to come in, which is what this time is. And we are stepping in this time. We did not step in last time. We are stepping in this time because we're allowed to, because it's time, because before, even though humans were at a more advanced stage during the Atlantis time, there was a part of the soul growth that was not advanced at that time as it is now. So now at the stage it's at, we are able to step in. It is allowed for us to step in, and we want you to know that there are some that look back on the Atlantis time and think how great it was, but we're letting you know it wasn't all that greatness. There was also some dark sides to that. And so now is the time to be proud of. Be proud of where you are at this time. We understand that there's been dark things. We understand that there's things on this planet that you would have never have chosen to be here, or you have, if you had known that it was this bad, you would probably wouldn't have even wanted to be here. But just like everything else, there was a place for that. We needed you. We needed you to see this so we can get out of it. We needed you to know this, that there can be this, so there can be something different, something better. And so we want you to know, to be proud of the time that you have come into, because this is the time of shifting. This is the time of changes. This is the time where we are all working as one. It's not just the physical beings doing the work, but we on the other realms are stepping in a way we have never stepped in before. I'm going to say that again. We are stepping in a way we have never stepped in before. So have that awareness and embrace that awareness. Because with the squeeze that you are feeling, the darkness wants you to see something different. This is a grand time. Know that. Feel that. And the more you know it, the more you feel that, and the more you acknowledge it, the more you bring in that, and the more you're allowing us to help release what no longer is wanted. We need you to know this. We need your help. We need your assistance with this, dear ones. We need you. You say you need us. We need you. So step out of the doubt. Step out of the questioning. Don't look at what is that's going on in the false matrix. Stay in your core and know that we are assisting here now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So what can you, talking about new technologies and things, is there any advanced healing modalities that are available that we can access that maybe we're not quite aware of, or anything that you'd like to share?
Yes, so what we want you to know is that the biggest healing modalities that are now being created are within the bodies. They are within the bodies. And it is also technology. This is hard for some to understand, but the bodies are technology. The bodies are wired like what you call computers. The bodies have everything that the computers have, but more. They say, oh, they're supercomputers. Well, if they're supercomputers, then you are supercomputers. So we want you to know that the shifts that are coming in, we are upgrading the bodies. And there's also physical technologies that are being created to work with the upgrades of the body technologies. And they are not right now being widely used because if right now they were to bring those out, there would be a stunt because there are those that would take those down and would make sure that they get taken out. So we are keeping them a little bit on the down low until it's time for it to come up, come out, step up. But they're there to find. For those that need it, they'll be there to find. And there are also those people that can create the technologies that are not allowing themselves to step into those roles yet because they are still being held back. You see, there are humans that have the knowledge to solve every problem on this planet. There's different humans that have that capability, but the ones that step forward are taken out. So there's that time. There's a time, and not quite yet. We're still dismantling. Dismantling is still happening. So there's a little bit of the technologies that are coming out, but you'll see more of the technologies. But we want to make it known that technologies are not to be dependent on the technologies, because then you're putting it outside the core. So we have heard of those talk about things called med beds. And we want to say, yes, there's things that are like med beds, but not like some speak of. Some think that you can just lay in something and it just takes away everything. But that's not how we work on the soul. The soul has stages. The soul has to learn. So we say when you go into a so-called med bed, it is not for technology to take away. It is for the technology to work with. So you can lay within a med bed, but it is for you as a conscious being to work with the layers that are within your being to let go. If you're holding on to something from this lifetime or a past lifetime, the med beds won't take that away. That's for you on a soul level to work with, to let go of. So there could be a technology, let's say, and there are those that, let's say, are not ready to let go of something, and they'll go on that technology and they'll say, that technology did not work for me. And we'll say, you're right, dear one. The technology did not work for you because you did not work with the technology. Technology can't just step in and wipe away everything. That would be not working with core, and that would be a dark technology. If it could wipe away everything without your free will, then that's a dark technology. Technology has to be something you work with, saying, okay, I'm ready to release. I'm ready to let go of what no longer fits me, what no longer is for my highest and best. And I am willing to let go of what is no longer in my highest and best. And that is you working with the technology. So just know, with any sort of healing modality, you have free will. And if you are willing to work with the healer or with the technology or with the beings, and you have come to that point of growth where you are willing to let go of that thought process that holds you back, then you're ready to heal. So the healing is more about the one that is needing to be healed than it is about that which does the healing.
Wonderful. And so Santa has an in-home EES system that she's been working with the frequencies of that machine. She said she feels better than she ever has. Can you help us to understand what's happening there, the power of that technology? What can you share?
So this technology is about frequency. It works with the frequency, and it's not really the technology that is doing the healing. The technology brings the frequency in the area, in the field area, to a certain, we'll say, resonance, to a certain balance. So all the frequency does is create a resonance of balance, we'll say. And so when any being, plant life, we'll even say other technologies are within that frequency range, a balance happens. And when a body becomes within a frequency balance of, let's say, the vibration of health, it's going to vibrate at that same frequency. It becomes in alignment with that frequency. So her body is feeling the balance of health on a 24/7, 365 time frame, constant. So even when she's bombarded by something, it goes back to balance. It's like out of alignment, back to alignment, out of alignment, back to alignment. So her body is learning that alignment and balance is the correct frequency. You see, because this whole planet has been shifted off of healing frequency, meaning there's a frequency of balance that is a resonation for the body to always be in health. And we've created this frequency on this planet to where the dark wants to control all the frequency. And they say, if we control the frequency, we can control the people. And if we control the people, then we have control over everything. And we get to say. So there are certain technologies that can bring that can run in that frequency of balance, and it teaches the body to go back to its natural frequency of balance. And so it's not really the frequency of the technology that's doing it. It's just reminding the body, this is the frequency of health. This is the frequency of health. This is the frequency of health. And then our bodies, oh yes, that's right. This is the frequency of health. This is what I'm supposed to be vibrating at. So it reminds us, it's like a remembering field of what the natural state of balance is for all the cells in the body on a molecular structure. So it works with the toroidal field of the body, creating a homeostasis congruency for the whole energy field of the body.
Wonderful. Well, Santa wants to know if you can align every cell in her body to optimum balanced health.
Yes. So we are bringing in source light, but it is buffered with frequency colors. We were bringing in tones through colors. She is now seeing like her body in white, then encapsulated in orange, then encapsulated in blue, then in purple, then in green. And it's rippling out. And she's feeling lighter. It's as if her whole body is expanding out. And now we're bringing it back in. To her optimum, balanced health.
I could feel that energy moving through me as well. Thank you for that. What knowledge or wisdom can you share that will have a significant impact at this time?
As we share this message, we're sending out a frequency to all that is listening, and we are saying that we want you to connect with source energy. We are asking that you all take a moment of time in your day to go outside and to close your eyes, but to look at the sun. And as you look at the sun with the eyes closed, we are sending extra frequencies to specifically you. And we are going to raise your frequency to the vibration of green. And we call this the green beam of healing light. And we want to heal all the frequencies in your bodies. We want to raise the frequency of all that are listening to this message. May all the frequencies in your bodies vibrate at the frequency of source light and Jesus healing, Yeshua healing energies. We are calling in the angelics and the lords of light to all of you during this transitioning times. We ask that the remembering of who you are comes through to you now. Remember, dear ones, who you have always been. We are needing you now to come fully into your frequency bodies now to assist in this community shift for the whole planet, and the universe is being affected now for the collective. We are needing the assistance from all of you right now, dear ones. So we are bringing in that united golden frequency for all of you to be a part of this now. We ask that this frequency calibrates all of your bodies. We are asking all the light beings to step forward now during this time. Step forward now. This is your calling. This is the time you have all been waiting for. We are going to be calling in assistance also from the beings who have been visiting this planet. They will all be surrounding this planet during this time. All those beings are here to help all of us shift into the new place where we are all needing to vibrate at this time for the shift. We are calling in that now for the entire collective.
That was incredible. That was so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing those frequencies with us, for
I'm,
sharing that powerful
I'm
message. How
vibrating so much right
I
now.
I
Oh my
am
God.
too.
Yeah, my lips are numb.
Just breathe. Oh my goodness. That was amazing. Yeah, just breathe. We're going to just go ahead. This has been incredible. I just want to say I'm so grateful to your beautiful guides for being with us today to bring through this information. Let's see if there's any final messages if you feel like you can bring them through. If not, that's okay. Any final messages they'd like to share with us today?
We're just wanting to thank everyone for doing their part and for being so patient during this time. Because we know how much this has taken from all of you. We know how much of you have been waiting. And we know what you have been through in this lifetime. And we just thank you so much for hanging on. Because some of you checked out, but some of you stayed. And we say thank you, dear ones. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from the vastness of all that we are. We thank you.
And we thank you for bringing through this incredible information today. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure to connect with you again. And just feel yourself beginning to wake up, bringing all of your energy back, taking your time, moving around, stretching. Here she comes. Whoa. I'm blown away right now. I'm like in tears. I'm laughing. I'm
Oh,
crying. I'm
God.
like, the energy. That was incredible.
Oh my gosh. I still
How do
can't feel
you
my hands.
feel?
I gotta put my glasses on because I can't even see.
Wow. That was amazing. Woo. They brought it today, didn't they?
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That was so
Wow.
intense.
I literally felt like I lifted off the table. Like I couldn't,
I
I feel like I would like lift it off the freaking table.
I wanted to like hang on to you because I thought you were going to take off like a rocket.
Oh my gosh, Heather.
That
I
was
don't think I've ever felt
incredible.
anything like this in my entire life.
Yeah, I could feel it. And even when they were doing the cell realignment and they said it's pulsing out, because I closed my eyes, I was like, I set my intention to receive. And then they said, and now we're bringing it back in. And I literally felt all the energy come back into my body. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So yeah,
Wow,
they
that's
really
funny you
amped
say
it up.
that because I don't even remember. So they said bringing it back in.
Yeah, they were like bring.
I
So they
remember,
were
I just remember the rippling out. I don't remember coming back in.
they brought it back in, and I felt it's almost like all the energy that was buzzing around me just sort of went and sucked right back in. I was like, oh, I am feeling it because you wonder, but yeah, it was amazing. I
Wow.
I could feel those frequencies, and I could even feel. Did you feel a change in the guides as they were coming in? Because it almost felt like your guides, but I felt the angels come in. Did you feel a shift
Yeah, so I
during that
felt
part?
something bigger come in is the best way to describe that.
Yeah,
Because it was like, I don't know how to explain it, but just like pow. Like I was just like I wasn't mean, like I wasn't this here. I was just like pow. Like
mhm,
almost like I was gone and just like this huge expansion. I mean, and after I felt that is when I started feeling the numbness, like my hands were going numb, my
yeah,
lips were going numb.
yeah.
Um,
You got
lost my
towards
feet
the
altogether.
you got towards the end because you can always tell when the voice gets a little bit more robotic sounding, which sort of came in and out for you. That's
Okay.
when you can almost tell like the frequencies, and it could be different guides sort of shifting in and out to deliver the message as well. That changes the. It's just the frequency of what you're bringing through. Sometimes it sounds robotic, but I could see those shifts, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just I feel so like alive. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't sleep so great last night.
yeah.
So I was feeling kind of tired, but I feel like so amped right now. Like
You
amped.
go out and run a marathon, can't you?
I mean, I'm like so shake. I'm like, zzz.
Yeah, that last part, and they were like, we're going to bring the frequency through, and you could feel it. I mean, it's like blasting out. I was just holding my heart. I was like, whew, breathe, which is going to be beautiful for anyone who listens to this because they will receive all those beautiful frequencies. So,
Right,
so
right,
powerful.
right. Wow.
This was amazing.
It felt so powerful. I felt like, so what I was a little nervous about, like I'm always during these sessions, am I going to be able to like check out per se? You know what I mean? Like I feel like, because I always feel like I'm going to be right there and I'm going to be questioning and second guessing.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got to that garden,
You're gone. You were
I'm
done. You were
gone.
there. You were there. Yeah.
It's just
I was like, we
amazing.
didn't even have to go anywhere. They were just like, we're ready. They're
Yeah,
like, we've been waiting.
it's just amazing. It's like all those people that doubt the whole process. It's just you
Yeah,
just gotta let it go because it
you
knows.
do.
It knows.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's the mind that gets in the way, the doubts and the can I do this? And I've experienced that myself, so I completely understand. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you just have to get out of your own way, don't you?
You do.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Heather.
you're so welcome. This has been incredible.